Have you ever pondered the secrets behind the sustained wealth of affluent individuals? It's often assumed that being rich grants you the freedom to splurge on anything you desire. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Despite having millions of dollars at their disposal, wealthy individuals share a common trait. They steer clear of unnecessary expenses. Even with overflowing bank accounts, you'll find that these prosperous individuals opt for better deals, lead modest lives, and allocate their money towards essential items rather than indulgences. They practice conscious spending, even when they have the means not to. In this video, I'll guide you through the 7 expenses that affluent individuals consistently avoid. If you're new to the channel, do make sure to hit the subscribe button below to access more money-making and wealth creation content. The first expense to address is debt repayments, which is something wealthy individuals typically avoid. They are mindful of any additional cost related to owing money to others. It's important to note that debt isn't necessarily the biggest financial adversary. Rather, it can be a tool utilized by the wealthy to increase their wealth. However, it's crucial to recognize that not all debtors are the same. While individuals like Jared Kushner can comfortably manage millions of dollars in debt, others may find their lives adversely affected by student loans and expensive home ownership plans. The affluent understand that using someone else's money for investments carries significant risks that could quickly turn unfavorable. Consequently, many of them choose to avoid such risks altogether. This is why they rarely consider options like multiple credit cards, car loans, and extensive home ownership plans, unless the investment they're pursuing has the potential to surpass their interest rates. The underlying message is that without a well-thought-out financial backup plan, debt repayment becomes an expense that can hinder your financial well-being and impede your path to financial freedom. Here's the reality. Just like trouble, toxic debt is easy to fall into and challenging to escape. Let's consider college debt as an example. How long does it typically take for an average college graduate to repay an average student loan of $26,900? According to the Department of Education, it can stretch up to 20 years, which is approximately 5 times the duration spent in college. By the end of this period, the debt would have accumulated substantial interest, resulting in repayment amounts far exceeding the initial borrowing. Rich individuals avoid debt whenever possible, and if they do assume it, they ensure that they have a well-defined repayment strategy. Warren Buffett summed it up perfectly when he said, "If you're smart, you're going to make a lot of money without borrowing." Expense number 2, designer brands. Specifically, I'm referring to extravagant dress codes and fashion trends that can lead the average person into overwhelming debt. Of course, we all need clothes, and nice ones at that. But does it mean we should allocate a significant portion of our earnings toward expensive designer apparel on a monthly basis? Probably not. The thing is, wealthy individuals aren't necessarily impressed by donning the latest trending designer sneakers that might not last more than a few months. If you doubt this, just look at Steve Jobs and his famous dress code. Many still fail to comprehend why the founder of Apple consistently wore basic jeans, a black sweater, and the same sneakers for years. He strolled around in outfits that hardly turned heads, yet he was the owner of one of the most profitable tech giants in history. Rich people understand that value always surpasses mere price tags, which is why they adopt a pragmatic approach when it comes to their expenses. Expense number 3 on our list is none other than expensive real estate. It may come as a surprise, but wealthy individuals tend to avoid owning multiple costly and luxurious homes. This assertion goes against the extravagant residences that celebrities proudly display on social media. However, self-made millionaires take a different approach when it comes to home ownership. Despite living in luxurious mansions, these individuals acquired their properties at a fraction of their current values. Or, even if they bought them at market value, the prices pale in comparison to their net worth. Here's the thing. Purchasing an expensive house in an exclusive neighborhood actually hampers wealth accumulation. This counterproductive strategy is why you'll find a greater number of millionaires living in houses valued at $300,000 compared to those residing in million-dollar properties or above. Economically conscious individuals are well aware that living in a million-dollar house or neighborhood leads to an expensive lifestyle, potentially compromising savings and overall wealth. To ensure they make sound financial decisions and maximize their investments, wealthy individuals always seek the best deals when purchasing homes. Through carefully calculated moves, they acquire properties at low prices in profitable neighborhoods, allowing the values to appreciate over time. This enables them to sell the properties for substantial profits. Take Warren Buffett, for example, who has resided in the same house since 1958, and its value has nearly tripled during that time. Expense number 4, television expenses. When it comes to TV entertainment and video games, rich individuals rarely spend their money on them. Experts suggest that millionaires spend no more than 60 minutes a day watching TV, whereas the average person spends approximately 5 to 7 hours daily. In most million-dollar homes, extravagant TV packages are not a common sight. Instead, these wealthy individuals focus more on meaningful pursuits, such as reading impactful books or dedicating time to their businesses. Numerous studies also indicate a strong connection between a household's income and their TV consumption habits. Lower-income households, with a net worth of less than $25,000, tend to spend significantly more time watching TV compared to wealthier households with a net worth exceeding $75,000. Engaging excessively in video games and TV will only drain your time, energy, and most importantly, your finances. After all, how can you expect to climb the financial ladder if you spend your days lounging on the couch, watching others become wealthy? Expense number 5, flashy cars and extravagant flights. Up until this point, you may have assumed that wealthy individuals exclusively drive the most luxurious cars and exclusively fly on private jets. However, it's important to note that this is not always the case. Wealthy people have been caught on numerous occasions driving basic cars that are within our reach. And surprisingly, they sometimes choose to fly economy instead of opting for costly business class tickets. For instance, when asked about his preference for driving a basic Acura TSX, which costs around $30,000, Mark Zuckerberg mentioned that it is a safe, comfortable, and an unpretentious choice. From my perspective, this reasoning seems logical and accurate when it comes to car ownership. Unfortunately, many individuals tend to perceive car ownership solely at face value, often ignoring the long-term costs involved. Unlike those who succumb to societal pressure, it's not surprising to encounter a millionaire driving a cheap or even old car. In fact, a study conducted by Experian Automotives reveals that a majority of billionaires, approximately 60%, choose Ford, Toyota, and Honda vehicles for their transportation needs. Expense number 6 that wealthy individuals tend to avoid is indulging excessively in fast food options. Unlike the average person who finds it hard to resist dining out almost every night, affluent individuals choose more economical dining alternatives. Instead of walking into a restaurant chain and ordering lunch for everyone or renting out the entire establishment, millionaires surprise us by utilizing discount coupons to cut costs. Interestingly, they won't hesitate to cause a commotion if a restaurant attempts to overcharge them simply based on their wealth. While many people frequently eat processed foods at restaurants, the wealthy often find it more practical to purchase groceries and opt for healthier eating habits. This alignment with a healthier lifestyle means that financially draining junk food is a big no-no for them. Expense number 7 is related to the high cost of formal education. If we examine the success stories of many wealthy individuals, it becomes evident that their financial achievements were largely independent of their formal education. Surprisingly, almost 1/3 of billionaires are college dropouts who surpass the need for a mere degree certificate. However, I don't intend to discourage anyone from pursuing a meaningful formal education. Nevertheless, it is essential to acknowledge the truth that colleges or formal education institutions attempt to confine our minds within certain boundaries. The educational system prepares us for academic excellence, which is applauded, only to find ourselves trapped in a monotonous office job in the pursuit of employment. Once we step into the real world, we confront the harsh reality that the expensive piece of paper we acquired through years of education does not guarantee financial freedom. Contrary to relying on memorized knowledge, most successful individuals have achieved wealth by acquiring practical investment skills that are not taught in schools. While college graduates spend a significant portion of their careers burdened by student loan debts, wealthy individuals have already attained financial prosperity. Even when it comes to their children's education, rich people do not invest in costly private tutors. Instead, they expose their children to invaluable skills, experiences, and opportunities, leading to their holistic personal development. By doing so, they avoid the burden of college debts and the average salary jobs that college often prepares us for. In summary, the wealthy individuals we perceive as extravagant actually prioritize their spending despite their vast fortunes. For more information on investing and wealth creation, do subscribe to our channel for future videos in the days to come.